Hi, guys, and welcome to the Gin and Tonic Show. We help Muslims and non Muslims to handle Islam in the 21st century. My name is Mustafa, and this is my co host in the nick of time. If you wish to talk about Islam, the ideology, you have come to the right place. We cover current Islamic news, Islamic scripture, some crazy comments, and a weekly topic about Islam to examine, critique, and analyze. If this is not enough Islam for you, please drop by our Discord to discuss any further questions about Islam. We condemn any form of discrimination, violence, misogyny, slavery. However, we do embrace free speech and criticism if it's factual and correct. Thank you for stopping by and enjoy the Gin and Tonic Show.
Hey guys.
Hi guys. Ta-da-pa-pa. I know it's not like a very, we call it loud music, but it's a very. I love this intro. Thank you in the nick of time for collaborating, for actually creating this intro and using my voice in this intro.
Yeah, I know that we're going to be presenting from now on for the foreseeable future, actually. So that's why to have your voice on there since you are the main host, I thought it would be more appropriate.
Aw, I love you too. But yeah, definitely we have a very interesting topic. In nick of time, he does have a presentation today for us ready. But so what we'll do is we'll go over some news items. We'll go to look at some crazy comments and memes as well. The Quran corner, we'll look at some Quranic verses, and then we'll also examine an article that Nick wanted to share with us. An article, what do you call it? And definitely he has a presentation as well as a video response if we indeed have the time. So, Nick, are we ready?
Yes. So I think we're doing the news today. I know you had a few news articles.
Yes, I do actually. So, this is an interesting story that actually not interesting, it's pretty downright disturbing. What happened very recently is that in Pakistan, there was a Sri Lankan national who was lynched by a mob for tearing down a poster. For tearing down a poster that involved that had Muhammad's name on it. It was a technically of a local political party that just happened to have the name Muhammad on it. So let me just share this with you guys. So share a screen. So on tab. So this is the article that we have. So the nation. So this is from Express Tribune, one of the top newspapers in Pakistan. So it's not like we're making this up or anything. So this happened in Sialkot this Friday, and the Sri Lankan national was brutally lynched, and his body was set on fire by a mob in Sialkot. So it's caused this. The president as well as the prime minister have it's caused a reaction, and it's very disturbing that this man was beaten by a mob, an entire mob, and his body burned just because they wanted to protect blasphemy. So this form of anti blasphemy vigilantism. So you see Imran Khan's tweet here: the horrific vigilante attack on factory in Sialkot and burning alive of Sri Lankan manager is a day of shame for Pakistan. I'm overseeing the investigations, and let there be no mistake, all those responsible will be punished with full severity of the law. Arrests are in progress. So they have arrested a lot of men who were involved in this incident. And we also have seen, there's another article I wanted to share covering the same story. 1 second, just give me a minute. Is this one? So yes, this was an opinion shared by one of the one of the authors of Express Tribune. So he stated that it's funny. He says personal vendetta led to brutal killing of Sri Lankan national in Sialkot. So it was like they blamed that they might have used blasphemy as sort of as a guise to, like, as sort of like, meanwhile the spokesperson for was expressing sorrow. So yeah, so definitely they were saying that there's some, like, jealousies that were involved with it, but in reality this was an entire mob, so it wasn't just like one, two, three
Unless
different
this
people.
they're all Karens for this, and this guy was like not providing them like free food. There's no
Yeah,
reason that this can be a personal vendetta.
it cannot be a personal vendetta because many mob, they did not make an attempt to hide their identity, so, and they even took selfies in front of the burning corpse. This was this grisly, that is, that they were taking a selfie in front of a burning corpse. And not only that, you also have incidents like this. There was a previous news that we shared with you that I think a Christian couple, no, not a Christian couple. There was the, one second. Yes, so a mob had set up not very long ago. A mob has set up the police station on fire in Charsada. So in the Charsada region of Pakistan, so let me just share this. So a mob sets up, and this is in another city altogether. Charsada is another city, and they were demanding the officials to hand over a blasphemy suspect, just a suspect. And this man was arrested for allegedly desecrating the Quran. Again, this is allegedly speaking, and they were demanding that this person be, and they wanted to kill this person. The police did not, and they set fire to the police station. And the police were like, this suspect is mentally disabled, he's unstable, so he's not, like, they refused, and they had to face this vigilante these vigilantes. And not only that, the police in Sialkot were not able to do anything to stop these guys. There was only one person. There's a news article I wanted to share, but that just
It's so
one,
peaceful, Mustafa.
yeah,
It's a true representation of how how peaceful they are.
yeah, it's definitely a representation of the the peace. There's so much peace that is. Let me just. There was another article about like, it was just one man that was defending this person. And it was, I think this is on my Facebook. Was it on my Facebook? Well, I'm sorry I'm making you yawn, Nick. I apologize for I'm making you yawn. I'm just
Oh,
gonna.
I work for the government in the middle of a pandemic. I'm always yawning.
All right. So yeah, so the chief of army staff has also made some. I'll actually just share the screen on Facebook. One second. Personal vendetta, and then there's one daring man. So I'll just share my Facebook. One sec. You guys can follow me on my Facebook. How do I share the screen? All right, where am I? Oh, there's the StreamYard. So I'll just share it on Facebook so it makes it easier. Share screen. I'll just share my Facebook page. So share. So yeah, so it says new footage, daring man trying to rescue. So I read this article. There's just one man trying to attempt to protect the victim, but in reality, like, he couldn't. You cannot stand against a mob. So you cannot. What do you call it? Face a mob like that. And Express Tribune, they have arrested 900 people under the anti-terrorism attack. 900 people, at least, with sticks, batons, were present inside the factory at the time of the murder of the foreign national, Priyantha Kumara. That's the name of the individual who was murdered. So there were at least 800. So they say 800, not 800 to 900, I would say, have been booked. And even I think the chief of army staff had some few words to say. I think there was, what do you call it? Did he have Muslims? So this one, there was the article. No, not the Greek Orthodox. Where is this? Several thousands protest. No. There's a lot of Pakistani news, a lot of Pakistani and other news. So where is the chief of army staff? I apologize, guys. Iran Muhammad. Oh yeah, massive explosion reported near Iran's nuclear site. So that's another news. Iran had a pretty, what do you call it? Yeah, that was pretty disturbing. And then, you had retirement of espionage. Nope, 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 not this one, not this one. Sorry, guys. We elected notification. But yeah, I'll find the article. Let me just find the article 1 second. I think it's not on here. It's on. Let me just see here. Where is it? Right, I need to find Chief of Army stuff because he did have like the. So I think it's just become this serious. What do you call it? The situation in Pakistan that is regarding blasphemy law, and there was even federal minister Fawad Chaudhry condemns the incident. So it has, started a conversation. At least it started a conversation. But now it's so the ministry there's just so much with the blasphemy law, and blasphemy vigilantism has been on a high rise since I think 1987. 1988 was where it was legalized, like blasphemy was criminalized in Pakistani, like officially criminalized to insult Muhammad and his companions. So in any form of what do you call it, vigilante justice, that's where it lead to. Like there have been at least 77 arrests, 77 people, non-Muslims, who were arrested for blasphemy. And this was I think a minorities page. I can't find the page that shared this what do you call it, article. And yes, there's another interesting item that I found. So this is it's from Haris Sultan's channel, and I'll share the link in the chat. It was basically a TikToker. I'll just share the screen then. So I'll just TikToker. So I'll just share this in the chat, and then I'll also share the screen. 1 sec. Sorry if I'm being a bit slow, but there's so much that happened in this this week. That is, there's so much happened. So TikTok. So this TikTok, I was watching Haris Sultan's video. So definitely check this out. TikToker urges his followers to murder Haris Sultan. So it's crazy how I was banned. What's funny is that I was banned for insulting, not only Islam, but I was also speaking out against Israel's foreign policy, as well as different forms of vigilante justice. And boom, I was banned from TikTok 3 times. 3 different times I was banned.
You got to remember, Mustafa, it's run by Zakir Naik, so of course
definitely run by Zakir Naik. So TikTok, it's pretty crazy, honestly. Then there was the news of there's this controversy that the Liverpool, there was a bombing in Liverpool. I don't know much about the story per se. I just came across it just an hour ago, actually. So the MPP, they stated that Muslims are already suffering hatred. So this incident, the terrorist attack in Liverpool's women's hospital, might incite more hatred towards Muslim. And yes, we are against hatred towards Muslims. And this was an attacker. Allegedly, he was convert from Islam to Christianity. Many have started doubting it, stating that it was done just for the citizenship. But honestly, I don't know much about the story. Others have covered this topic far better than I have. So this is what's happening. So we do condemn any hatred towards Muslims, but we do speak out against this form of mob vigilantism, this injustice and all that stuff. So we are very, openly vocal against this. So I think that's the news we have for the week. And I think we have crazy comments that we need to address. Nick, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny too. You actually have the SpongeBob, so it's like, "Are you ready, kids?"
Aye, aye, Captain.
So we definitely. Let me just share the screen again. Sorry, I'm just very bad at this. So let me just share the entire screen. Okay, entire screen. All right. I'll just open up the. Okay, so can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a very funny. It's comments and memes now. We should kind of change that. It's comments and memes. So this guy says, at first I was a little concerned when we were sentenced to be stoned to death, and these guys are smoking. So it's a very funny take on being stoned to death. And then there's another interesting comment that we had. So this person says, let me tell you something about having lived as a Muslim. Good hadith show how great Muhammad was. Bad hadith are weak and not factual. Good parts of the Quran show how great Islam is. Bad parts of the Quran are taken out of context. Oh, and if you don't understand, you're an Islamophobe. So, Nick, we don't understand this, so we're both Islamophobes. I'm sorry, Nick. I had to break it to you.
But you said that that's not a real word.
Yeah. Well, again, Islamophobe is like the weaponized term that is. So it's more it's a weird word. It even stops. And I had a discussion about this. Such like there's no fear of Islam. Like there's no fear. It's just criticism of Islam. All right. So I did make this comment. I'm also a little. I'm gonna admit this. I'm also a little shit on the internet too. Like I'm also like a shit disturber. So I stated Islam is traumatizing. Let's start shitting on Islam and exposing weaken these fanatics. And this guy in Urdu, first he's like, "Teri bhi yahi halat honi hai, beta. Isi tarah comments karta raha hai agar." I will translate this, and I'll say, you will also, and this was about the lynching incident, right? So this is about the lynching incident, and he says this will be your condition as well if you keep commenting like this. Like I would also be attacked by mob and burned alive. So that
Tandoori Mustafa.
and he further comments, if you don't like Islam, that's okay, but don't like but if you don't like Islam and talk bad shit about it, then I guarantee you will have the same fate as that Sri Lankan guy. Let that sink in. And my response
Is he allowed to say shit?
Yeah,
Is he allowed to say shit?
I think so. I think shit, it's not a term you can, what do you call it, get banned for. Like, I'm not sure about Facebook. Facebook's rules are very flimsy.
No, I mean, like, is he gonna go to hell for that?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. But yeah, I tell this guy, thanks for exposing yourself by this weak threat. So yeah, my only response was just to, call him out and say, yeah, thank you for exposing yourself like this. And there's this funny comment as well, or post actually. It was a Facebook post. It says, this girl messaged me saying, "Aw," so I replied, "Aw, you're sweet too." Turns out AAWW stand for Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Man, this is too funny. This is absolutely too funny. And let me just open. There's some crazy memes, so I apologize. So yes, so this Maulana EP Abu Bakr Qasimi from Kerala, India. So it's not even Pakistan; it's in India. He says Allah gives women big breasts in Jannah. River of alcohol flows. Whores do not urinate or excrete. Ladies in Jannah don't have the ability to think. Very nice, Maulana Saab. Very nice.
I like his app. I like his spelling.
Yeah, it's like it's spelling. The spelling is great. They don't have the ability to think. Like, oh man, this is brilliant. Thing was it this the general chat? No, was it this one? Oh no, that was the Omicron variant. No.
They are getting money for it.
Yeah, so this is another video where I tried to. You can play it if you want as well. I think it's Muhammad's show, but they were actually the question itself was
they are getting money.
for like why do you think atheists speak? And this was like by the live chat. And when he said that,
Oh, so you were actually kicked out, right, from this live chat?
Yes.
Okay. So this was the live chat you went to. Do you have any comments on your end? Any crazy comments?
So far, no, not from my
Okay.
side.
Actually, yes. Okay. This was an interesting one. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the screen? I really hope. So this person states, it would make an interesting comparison to show these ex-Muslim conversion stories alongside those of revert Muslims from Christian backgrounds. The difference being that ex-Muslims justify it with emotions and vague notions. Oh yeah, we shared this last week.
Yeah, and this is what motivated us last week.
Yeah, this is what motivated us last week too. So this is pretty crazy. So yeah, I think that's all we have for how do I stop this?
Stop
sharing.
sharing.
Yeah.
And then I also have Dave's message or comment in the.
I'll like big butts, and I cannot lie.
You mean more like 12-year-old butts?
Oh man, fools do not urinate in the street. How low is the bar being set here for that? So yeah, it's it looks like we also have things like looks like we're both going to miss out on the 72 grips and rivers of Rabina. Those rivers. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we have. I think that's the comments, weird posts, and memes section. It's not so much comments. We had a lot of memes. I think what was the next segment?
It's the Quran Corner.
Quran Corner, yes. Please play the intro.
It's puzzling. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this before.
All right, let me just share the Quran verses with you guys for the day. All right. So I have it here. Again, it's a little different from what usually Stops does. I have the full verse. So that way, but we're not going to do too many verses today because we have two topics, two different. Technically, it's a big topic, but Nick has a presentation, so I'll just do 5 verses. So last time we were, they argued like the people outside of Sodom and Gomorrah, where Lot offers his daughters to be, gang raped by horny gay rapists. So they argued, you certainly know that we have no need for your daughters. That you already know what we desire. He responded, if only I had the strength to resist you or could rely on a strong supporter. So the angels said, O Lot, we are the messengers of your Lord. They will never reach you. So travel with your family in the dark of night. And do not let any of you look back, except your wife. She will certainly suffer the fate of the others. Their appointed time is the morning. Is the morning not near? Okay, hang on. They're already telling him, except your wife will look back. So not tell your wife look back because she will look back. Hang on. I recall the biblical story where don't turn back or you'll turn into a pillar of salt. And in this one, they're already kind of admitting that, okay, yeah, we're screwing up on purpose. So it's a complete contradiction to the original story. Again, if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. So it's so weird, the Quran verse that we have. Hang on. So we have how they're appointed. So their appointed time is in the morning. Is the morning not near? And when our command came, we turned the cities upside down and rained down them clustered stones of baked clay. Wait. You turned the cities upside down, Sodom and Gomorrah, but what's the point of running the clustered stones of baked clay? Because I think you're already done. Like you've exposed the city to lava already. So I don't know what the point is of that, the aftermath. and it says, "Marked by your Lord, O Prophet, these stones are not far from the pagan wrongdoers." Marked by your Lord, O Prophet. Who are they talking about? Who's this O Prophet? And it's not clear too. And then it jumps to the story. Like, this sentence makes no sense. We marked by your Lord, O Prophet. The stones are marked by O Prophet, and these stones are not far from the pagan wrongdoers. I don't know what I'm getting out of this. But yes, the next, and then to the people of Midian, we send their brother Shuaib. So Shuaib is another prophet in Islam. He said, "O my people, worship Allah. You have no God other than Him. And do not give short measure and weight." Short measure and weight of what? "I do see you in prosperity now, but I truly fear for you the torment of an overwhelming day." Overwhelming day, I think it's probably, the day, the judgment day that it's referring to. And then 85, last verse, "O my people, give full measure and weigh with justice. Do not defraud people of their property, nor go about spreading corruption in the land." Okay, I think he's talking about the business practices. So don't be a shrewd businessman. We'll look into the Arabic transliteration. So I did an Arabic transliteration. So the previous word, verse 80, "Qala lo anna li biqum qawatun aw li shadidin." So it ruknin shadidin. So it ends with ruknin shadidin. Al subhu biqaribin. So it rhymes here. 81 rhymes. And then there's another rhyme which says, "Falamma ja amruna ja'alna a'liya safaliha wa amtarna a'liya hijratan min sijilin mandudin." So biqaribin. So there's a rhyme, a consistent rhyme in 82. And again, the rhyme continues this time as well. "Musawwa matan a'inda rabbika wa ma hiya mina athalam amina biba'id Eden. Biba Eden." So again, Eden, it ends with this rhyme. And then Mohitin as well. So in 84 as well, "Alaykum athaba yawmin Mohitin." Yawmin is like, the day. So Mohitin. So Mohitin. And then the rhyme slightly changes to "Wala tha'awtha fi alardi mufsidina." Mufsidina. So dina. So it does change a little bit, but you can see here that there's more of a rhyme sequence. That's why there's a bit of a cluster, but it just jumped from topic. So we had Sodom and Gomorrah. The wife of Lot is already told that, "Oh, you're going to suffer the fate." So it's already destined. She's going to turn into a pillar of salt. It doesn't even mention the pillar of salt. So there's no mention of the pillar of salt here. So it doesn't even describe the story in detail. So the thing is, as much as I also shit on the Bible too at times, at least there's some detail in there. There's barely any details here. So it shifts from story to story, and all we have is a rhyme sequence in Arabic. So apparently this is what you call a clear book, a clear message from the Almighty God. So I love the phrase, "Corruption in the land," basically comparing non-Muslims to a plague. Really friendly. Yeah, corruption in the land, is sort of like a catch term for, like, atheist or like ex-Muslim or apostate. And don't be a shrewd businessman, just read the camera. I love you guys. But yeah, I think we're done with the Quran corner here, and I think I'll pass it off to In the Nick of Time podcast for his for the reaction. I think we're gonna look at an article first.
Yeah, so there is an article here that was shared to us, and it's called "The Honorable Lord Krishna, a Prophet of Allah," which is not true at all. Let me just scroll down from the
Is
picture.
it? Yes, please. I just can't see this properly.
Let me zoom.
I'll try to zoom it in a bit.
Is this better?
Let me see. 1 second. Okay, I can read it. Yes.
All right, so there's 10 points on here that basically show how he was a prophet.
Yeah, I think you it's an interesting topic. Like,
Yeah.
it's a claim that Krishna, the Hindu deity, is an Islamic prophet. So that's the claim made by this article.
So
Um,
there seems to be many, and I have a PowerPoint on this as well, and a video that Ali Dava does in order to summarize it. But this Huffington Post article is what this episode today is going to be based off of.
okay,
Which,
let's see the points. Let's see the
yeah.
points.
So the points themselves, we can go reading through them.
Yeah,
The first one is you can also because you know the Quranic
yeah.
verses and such. You
Okay,
can
so hang on. First, the Quran is the only ancient scripture that specifically mentions and praises other faiths. No, it
false.
doesn't. It's actually insulting the other gods. So it doesn't exactly, it's insulting pagan gods. It mentions Jews and Christians specifically in numerous places. Okay. But it tells you in chapter 5, verse 54, not to be friends with Jews and Christians. So I don't know where this guy is coming from. It mentions Hindus in a group of Sabians. No. Where the heck did he come? Where the heck did he come up with this claim from? Sabians. Sabians are for non-Amic. No, no. Sabians is an extinct group of a Christian sect. No, no. There's no mention. No. So there's no this is it's such a far stretch. The very first point, he's just really stretching it. Like Sabians is not if you've read any of the tafsir, they're not referring to other faiths at all. So I don't know where he's coming up with this. And it's funny too how he does not use specific Quranic verses either. So it's like, very like it's kind of sneaky in a way to make his point.
Yeah. Then the next one here, Allah teaches 6 articles of faith. The 4th article of faith is the belief in all God's prophets. This simple article of faith provides further credence to recognize Lord Krishna as a prophet sent to the Indian subcontinent.
Hang
But
on.
before that, the Bhagavad, and I'll show this later in my PowerPoint, before this, Bhagavad Gita did so.
So he claims that Bhagavad Gita says so, but then Islam, which 6 articles of faith is he talking about? And, sure, there's the belief in God's, all of God's prophets. Because Sunni Islam has a different article, and then Shia Islam has a different article of faith as well. So he has to be a bit more specific, because in Shia Islam, you have, what do you call it? Tawheed, which is the oneness of God, Nabuwah, which is prophethood, Imamat, Adl is justice, Imamat, which is the Imamat, and Qiyamah, which means the day of judgment. So that's 5 articles of faith in at least Shia Jafari Islam, and different groups of Islam have different articles of faith. So I might be not familiar with the Sunni version of the articles of faith, but I do admit that I'm not familiar. But yeah, it's when he says God belief in all of God's prophets, it says Lord Krishna, so it's a bit of a stretch. He's kind of, because I could apply this to Buddha as well too.
Yeah.
And get away with it.
Yeah. And I don't think the people who are bordering and having fights with the Buddhist terrorists would like that as well. But yeah, so the next one, do you want to read this one, Mustafa?
Yes. The Quran is clear that God's divine guidance is not exclusive to any one people. Rather, the Quran says that God sent messengers to every people. Okay, he did send messengers, according to the Quran, that is. We raised among every people a messenger, 1637. Prophet Muhammad further declared that God has sent no less than 124,000 to mankind throughout history, of which only 28 are mentioned in the Quran. None of those 28 are mentioned as being sent to the subcontinent. Thus, it is perfect. Lord Krishna is one of the many prophets sent with his divine message. Bit of a stretch, but because keep in mind that a lot of these prophets, there's the interested in prophets of the Arabian and Israel Palestine region. So I can kind of give him this point, like, okay, based, if you're a Muslim, you can kind of buy into this, but is he really, so at least he's used some verses. Now he uses verses, but these are vague. It
Yeah.
hasn't specified like what is the criteria of a prophet. And did Lord Krishna preach monotheism, the same religion? Let's find out. But yeah, let's see the next point.
Seguing from the previous point, or
Mhm.
segueing from the previous point, the Quran clearly declares, and we sent some messengers whom we have already mentioned to thee, and some messengers whom we did not mention to thee. 165. Thus, to declare that Krishna is not a prophet simply because the Quran does not mention him is a meritless argument.
This is another, he just stretched out to one point into 2 points.
Yeah.
The problem with this argument is that he's just making assumptions based off of, it's just speculation at best. There's no like hard on, hard evidence or something set in stone that Krishna is an Islamic prophet.
Yeah.
And did he preach the same religion, or and it's probably also referring to previous prophets of the Torah, the Old Testament, and as well as like the Jewish prophets, so that are not mentioned in the Quran. So I think
Yeah.
he conveniently ignores that point and moves
Yeah.
on to
Yeah. I put up a comment that Thinking clearly made on the screen as well.
maybe Joseph Smith and our prophets of Islam too. All right, let's look at the fifth point.
All right, do you want to take this one, Mustafa?
Oh, geez. Okay, this one's a long one. Remarkably, Prophet Muhammad declared there was a prophet of God in India who was dark in color, and his name is Kahan. And then he inserts in brackets Krishna. Okay, Kahan is not the same as Krishna. And then he quotes the history of Hamadan Dailami, chapter Al-Qaf. He says some critics allege that this is not Sahih or authentic Hadith. And he says while their assessment could be valid, their conclusion that the Hadith should be discarded is invalid. Wait, hang on. So these people who've actually studied the entire chain, the Isnad, and have discarded this and have categorized it, this man claims that they've made a fundamental error. And he says basic Islamic jurisprudence holds that if a hadith does not contradict the Quran, then it may be accepted as valid. Wait, it's not contradicting the Quran in any way. It's not doing anything to the Quran if you think of Krishna as a prophet or not, because he's making it's like a slippery slope fallacy that he's committing. It's like Krishna is not mentioned. Like, so what? Like, it doesn't say anything. May not be accepted. As mentioned earlier, nothing in the Quran Sunnah had declared Lord Krishna was not. Oh my goodness. Did he just commit the argument out of ignorance fallacy? Oh my goodness. Okay. So now I apologize if people are not. Argument out of ignorance is something where just because it's not mentioned is not evidence. It's something like, if I don't have evidence of a god, does not count as evidence against a god. It's like, no, you've made the claim. You have to prove the claim. And he's done a very poor justification. Like, he's clearly using argument out of ignorance. And he says further adds, thus Prophet Muhammad's testimony provides clear guidance of Lord Krishna's status in Islam, that of a prophet. In fact, a renowned early 19th century Muslim scholar, Muhammad Qasim Nanotwi, was also one of the opinion that considered the evidence and this hadith, Lord Krishna was a true prophet of God, Dharam Parchar debate Shah Jahan Pur. So it was the Shah Jahan Pur was the debate. Again, he held the opinion, but
There's no
majority of
proof.
scholars have classified this as not Sahih. I want to see the real grading of this hadith. Like, is it like if they've given it like I like how he used the word. He hasn't used the exact grading, like, because there's Daif, which is weak, and Modu, which is fabricated, and then you have Sahih, Hassan, and Hassan Sahih. So he has not even used the proper grading. So he's just said not a Sahih, authentic. So it's like kind of hiding the argument.
Yeah, and Mustafa, there's another comment by
Yeah, he's
Thinking
doing
Clearly.
articles for Huffing. Argument from ignorance is the first. Yeah, like what? Yeah, it's like no wonder why it's on Huffington Post. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'll read the next two as well because they also consider stuff from the Rig Veda.
Further, so I think
Yeah.
I'll let you take these ones.
Yeah. So Islam's third article of faith is the belief in God's book. This is why Muslims revere the Injil, which is the Gospels and the
Injil, the
Torah. Well,
Wait, hang on. I'll tell you this. In Injil, it only says one gospel. It doesn't say gospels in the Quran. And the Torah, he kind of puts Old Testament as an entirety, but it's only mentioned the Torah itself, the book, the 5 books of the Torah, not the rest of the Old Testament.
Yeah. And thus, it is only logical that Muslims also revere the Gita and the Vedas, Hinduism's holy scriptures from which Lord Krishna taught. First of all, this is false. He did not teach from the Vedas. He only preached the Bhagavad Gita.
Wow. Okay, so even that is wrong. So he even made a mistake there, even based on Hindu mythology as well.
Yeah, he only taught, and I'll briefly explain in my PowerPoint as well. He only taught the Gita.
Right. Okay.
All right. So number 7. Earlier, I mentioned both Islam and Hinduism teach the unity of God in service of mankind. A message both Prophet Muhammad and Lord Krishna taught. In fact, the Vedas state there is only one God, worship him, a small portion. I will show you the exact verse in my PowerPoint.
Okay.
Do not worship anyone besides him. Again, only a small portion. I will show you the actual quotes from in the PowerPoint. And God is only one, not a second. I will also show you that. So all these are smaller ones, and I'll show you the main one from the Gita itself.
So he's cherry picked it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Furthermore, countless verses in the Vedas teach the service of mankind. For example, O noble men, we do not commit violence, we do not hurt others, we do not quarrel either. We, of course, chant Vedas and act according to its dictates. And again, the Rig Veda was not taught by Krishna, so he was not saying anything about this. It's the Vedas teach this, you're right, but these have nothing to do with Krishna himself. He did not teach this. Every man should protect the other in all respects, unless you're an atheist. Again, while admitted theological differences exist between Islam and Hinduism today, no doubt exists that Prophet Muhammad and Lord Krishna both God's unity and service to mankind. Again, I will discuss this in the presentation that I made, but this has some faults in it as well.
Wow. Okay. Let's see your presentation, Nick.
All right. So there's a few more.
Okay. Yeah. Let's read these. Let's actually examine the entire thing. And, it says here, furthermore, Lord Krishna's scripture clearly prophesies Prophet Muhammad's advent in multiple places. We provide just to the Bhavishya Purana. I think this is what Zakir Naik quoted, no?
Yes. So this quote, it doesn't talk about Islam itself because Muslim doesn't stand for Muslim.
Yeah.
It talks about a tribe.
Yeah. And again, let's see the quote. A spiritual reformer will come from a foreign land outside Bharat, which is India, with his disciples. His name will be Muhammad. He will dwell in a desert. Likewise, Muhammad's followers will perform circumcision. They will not keep their hair in the form of a choti as the Brahmins do. They will keep beard. They will bring about a revolution. They will call in a loud voice, and he puts in, the adhan. They will eat meat of animals other than that of a swine. They will attain purity through jihad. Wait, is this even mentioned? Their civilization will be called Muslim. And he said, for the sake of where we will further avoid further commentary on this, they speak volumes on. Wow, okay. He avoids commentary. Like in this, it's like, okay, he's kind of like, okay, I give you this. Suffice to say, however, these verses support the argument that God sent Prophet Muhammad, sent Lord Krishna. Earlier, we provided the Hadith validity. That wasn't even an authentic Hadith. Shut the hell up. And now we provide Lord Krishna's holy scripture validating the Prophet Muhammad. What further proof do we need? Like now he makes him, what further proof do we need that Prophet Muhammad and Lord Krishna are brothers cut from the same mold? Oh my goodness.
All right, I'll discuss this as well. But for the specific, the Bhavishya Purana does not have this verse anywhere in it, and I am holding
really
it. In the prediction, that specific quote does not exist.
So that's a lie, practically.
Yeah, they have Buddhists but nothing about this entire thing is a lie. I
Wow.
read through and I was like, okay, let me pull it out and get the translations, but it only talks about the Buddha.
Wow. Okay. So this entire claim is a lie.
Yeah, so this
Wow.
point here is a lie. And
Wow.
that too, he did not teach the Purana. Krishna did not teach that at all.
Oh, wow. Okay. So in that entire eight, point number eight is practically hinging on upon a very fallacious a lie, practically.
Yeah, it does not exist.
Wow. Okay, I did not know. Oh no, thank you for telling us. And it says, I think the final point, the finally in the Quran, God gives Prophet Muhammad the auspicious title of Khatam an-Nabiyyin, or Seal of Prophets, 3341. While some limit the title's meaning to last from Hadith, an authentic Arab lexicon, it is clear that the true import of seal is greatness and validation. Wait, huh? Where is he coming up with this meaning from? Greatness and validation. It says Khatam an-Nabiyyin, seal, like is done. And that is Prophet Muhammad is called not only the greatest, but also the validation of all prophets. Thus, it makes person that Prophet is specifically called Lord Krishna. He never called him a prophet. Part of his purpose in coming to was to declare to the world that God did not abandon any people, rather God sent his guidance and prophets, and no validating something no prophet of any faith outside has done. Thus, as human beings, we must honor and revere those prophets. Same because the same God sent you, Lord Krishna being no exception. In short, Prophet Lord Krishna was a noble, righteous, beloved one of God, far from theological. He's a source of unity, accord between Hindus and Muslims. Oh, my dear Lord.
Yeah, so based off of that article, I have a presentation.
Oh dear. Okay, because like the last point is he just makes the so many assumptions, like so many. He's just jumping through hoops and conclusions. That is. But yeah, please share your presentation.
All right, so I'm gonna put up the presentation here. One sec as it loads and things. But yeah, technology these days. But the issue that I mainly have
Hmm.
is that yeah, there's no connection whatsoever. So I'm gonna basically discuss the Bhagavad Gita, what it says, and then the Quran.
The Quran. Okay.
So we have a quote here. You, Mustafa, you
Yes. So
can verify
verses.
those.
Yeah. So verses 21 to 23. Hereupon Allah sent prophets to every nation. He sends the last prophets. Third verses 35.
All
But
right. Yeah.
uh, what
Yeah.
we're
Just
discussing is
yeah. So mainly, I just asked you like the reason why I asked you to read those is like see if you wanted to verify if this.
actually, let
quote-
me verify this. Just one
Yeah.
second. Let me just verify this from the Quran itself. So from the Quran. So you said chapter 20, verses 121 to 123. Okay.
Yeah.
So chapter 20, Surah Taha, verse number 121. Oh, it's a very okay, 21, then yeah, so 21, this is actually a different verse altogether. So I'll just make a little correction. So I'll show you the correction here on verses 20. It says it's actually talking about Adam disobeying the Lord by actually eating the fruit, forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Then chose him his Lord, turned to him and guided him. And so go down. So this is where God sends Adam into what do you call it? So that verse has nothing to do with sending prophets to every nation because that's talking about Adam. That is so Adam. So just make that correction. But let me see chapter 2. So he says chapter 2 verses
38,
30,
39.
38, 39. Okay, so yeah, this is why the gin and tonic show is important. We have to verify the information too. So
Yeah, that's why like this specific one, I asked the a person I know from the ISKCON temple
Hmm.
as well, but I want to verify quickly before I went
Also, they
further.
made this claim.
Yes.
Okay, so they will abide in the fire. So it says here, and then in chapter 2, verse 38, go down from it guidance, and they will not grieve. So chapter 2, verse 38, and it's talking about people abiding in fire. So it's
What
not,
about 39?
yeah, same. It's like talking about, can I share a screen?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
All right, share a screen. So you see here, down, on. All right. So you see here, chapter 2, verse 38 says, we said, go down from it, all of you. When it comes to you guidance, they will not grieve. So basically, I think this is talking about Adam, basically. So it's talking about Adam going down again, and those who disbelieve are the companions of the fire. So people who are disbelievers will go to hell. So this is what the claim is. And
So
what are
then we'll use the claim that this HuffPost guy made, or that quote. Essentially, that's what I'm using this for. And when I went to ask,
really?
pardon?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So basically, so these are the verses the Huffington Post person used.
No, this is something like I know someone from the ISKCON temple. When I asked him, he gave me these specific quotes about it.
Oh, and he
I
actually
might.
gave you the wrong ones.
All right.
He gave you,
Yeah.
and let's see the other verses. So let me just stop sharing the screen.
All
Let's
right.
see the other verses.
43, 6, 7, and 35, 2, 4 to 2, 5.
35 to 4. So he ends prophethood with the last prophet Muhammad. So 43, 6, 7. So what does it actually say? Because we have to see what the
I want to
verses
present the correct one.
actually
Yeah.
say. Yeah. At least we want to, be more. Okay. There might be, let me just share the screen just to verify with the audience.
Yeah.
All right. So share screen. So it says here, 43, 6 states, and how many we sent of a prophet among the former people? 43, 6. And then not came to them any prophet, but they used to mock him at him. So it's
So I think this
basically,
one. So I think this one is right,
yeah,
ish. But
right-ish in the sense that, what do you call it? It's talking about previous prophets sent, if it's talking about that, but it doesn't talk about Muhammad in this one,
yeah.
in this verse. Let's see, what was the other one? Chapter 35. Yeah, so the guy from the temple really made some mistakes. Okay, so it says here 35, 24 to 25. Okay, let me just open that up
Yes.
to verify 24. Because man, this guy, yeah, thank you for informing me. I'll okay, so this one somewhat has, whoops, sorry. I think I removed something.
Yeah. I added. Yeah.
Yeah. My apologies. So yeah, says indeed we have sent you the truth, a bearer of good tidings, and a warner, which is the prophet, and not as any nation, but had passed within war. So basically, all nations received a prophet. So that's the claim. And
Yeah.
if you deny, they deny you, denied those before them, came to them their messengers with clear signs, scriptures, and with the book. So talks about previous messengers. So I think I
Yeah.
can do this
So I think
one.
these ones are correct. It's just the first one that I was given was wrong, and that's why I want to verify them on the show as well and stop
Okay.
here.
And then it doesn't say last prophet ends the prophethood, because the last
Yeah.
prophet is actually mentioned in chapter 34.
Yeah.
So what do you call it? And why so religious has interesting concept. Why weren't the messengers sent to other messengers than Moses, David, Jesus, or Allah word, and needed to be preserved, persevered? Yeah. So yeah, it's like, and then Dave, come on, checking the source. What kind of Muslim are you guy? But yes, I think we've verified that. Okay, it
Yes.
doesn't say it's the last prophet. That's in chapter 34, but it's definitely like it's talking about these verses should be replaced with like, hereupon Allah sends every nation on prophets. Every nation should be the verses in the second point. So
Yeah.
that's a little correction we'll make. And because the verses that are above, like 20 and in chapter 2, are talking about Adam being sent down.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I'll go to the next slide then. Just as a background about who is Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So he wasn't common misconception. Lord Krishna wasn't actually a king. He was a nobleman,
Mhm.
and or in India, that specific role is called kingmaker. So he used to be like a minister on the court, essentially a nobleman, and he basically gave the Bhagavad Gita, which literally translates to God's song or word. And it's a list of duties and santana dharma for people, and is the natural law created by God. So it's not the actual Vedas, but it's a list of duties. The Vedas are actions or job-related knowledge, whereas the santana dharma and the Bhagavad Gita are just things that you as a person have to do your job properly and such. And the main concept or the first line that it has is the your if you do your tasks and duty wholeheartedly, the natural events are none of your business. Whatever
Oh,
goes on, like, you don't have to worry about, just do your job. So the biggest differences I'm going to be going through. So in the Quran, if you want to verify this one,
okay,
Mustafa.
let me just verify chapter 4, verse 116. Okay, chapter 4, let me just open it up. Surah Al Nisa, 116. And what does it say on your end about
Uh,
this one?
so the notion of God found in the Quran is a gets all upset when one sets up partnership in worship with him.
Okay, yes. Let me just share the screen with this one.
Yeah,
So just to perfectly verify that this is actually correct. So even the correct things we have to verify.
yeah,
All right. So indeed, it does say the corpus. Indeed, Allah does not forgive that partners be associated with Him, but He forgives other than what that for whom He wills. And whoever associates partners with Allah, then surely he lost, straying far away. And Sahih International also says, and indeed, Allah does not forgive association with Him, but He forgives what is less than that for whom He wills, and who associates partners with Allah has certainly gone astray. So I think this is correct. Um,
yeah.
let's
So
see.
I actually verified the Gita itself because when I went to the temple to get this information, I
Mhm.
had the Gita on hand.
Yeah,
So God found within the Bhagavad Gita is not at all self-centered. So he doesn't mind what. So in the concept of the Gita, God isn't a physical form. And in
hmm,
the video reaction we'll do, like, it's a lot more clear. God is energy. And in order to perform certain tasks, he needs to, or be visualized, he needs to take a certain form. And the best way I can compare it is the government. The
right,
government is not a physical thing. You can't see the government. But in order to get certain tasks done from the government, you have separate ministries and departments. And then you have separate officers within that, which are the demigods themselves. You can
right.
be an associate with, let's say, the district. You can vote for the district attorney. You can vote for the Senate and such. But they're all working for the main government. And in the Bhagavad
Like the
Gita,
main prime minister.
yeah, the prime minister, whoever the government is, and God basically in the Bhagavad Gita says there's many you can worship any demigod you want and associate him with me, because at the end of the day I'm the energy and I'm just taking that form in order to do certain tasks. And if you want to pray to that person, feel free, go right ahead, because at the end of the day it's all me.
So it's a complete contradiction to the Islamic message, which
Yeah,
states that the God is saying that associating partners is a big sin, and in itself. So it's a like what you're saying is it's a complete contradiction with the
yes,
jealous God of the Quran versus the Bhagavad Gita's God is a lot less self-centered.
yeah. So the next one is the still egotistical but somewhat reasonable Krishna says, endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but actually the benefits are bestowed by me alone. So still, he's not denying that you're praying to a demigod. So it's like the same thing. You're going to go and seek help from, let's say, a district attorney or public prosecutor.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the benefits are provided not by the district attorney, but by the government itself.
So he's actually saying, I'm okay with you giving someone else credit, but I'm the one doing it. But he's still kind of selfish.
Yeah.
In that weird way. And then you state the Quran, chapter 6, verse 102.
Yeah,
Let's read that. Just to verify. Okay, let me just share this screen. So it is correct. So this is the correct. You got the correct verse with this one. So that is Allah, your Lord. There is no God except Him, the creator of everything. So worship Him, and He's on everything a guardian. So it's only worship Him. So there's no deity except Him. So it's it's a different what do you call it? The God of the Quran is, He says La ilaha illahu. Hang on, does He say the Salaikum? No, He says Salikuma Allahu Rabbukum illa illallah wa khaliqu kulli shay'in.
Yeah.
So basically, he's it's a different, but yeah, just the transliteration is different. But yeah, but your translation is correct.
Yeah. And then, so at the end of the day, like, I wanted to ask, was Krishna really a prophet? Although both had preachings related to lifestyle, Krishna was more of a liberal avatar of God.
Yeah.
With a more open about who you can follow. He wasn't a prophet. He was God himself in human form.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
he's a God. So what you're saying is that he's a God himself.
Yeah. And then that's the quote that actually proves it. I am time, destroyer. So it's actually a swallower word. So the exact English translation for Pradvo Lokam Samhratam doesn't actually exist.
Mm-hmm.
The closest is destroyer, but in reality, it's swallower. It comes out of him and goes into him. In essence, in a cyclic sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my presentation, and then I also think like there's a video where like our favorite friend Ali Dava is discussing with someone from Hare Krishna who actually explains this a lot better than I would.
Okay. Wow,
So, yeah.
I already love the music that's coming in.
Yeah, and this is like Ali Dava's channel.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and if you want to give any commentary for a quick second, I'll be right back.
Wait, so should I?
Yeah, so I don't know if you can control this.
I actually can control this, yeah.
All right, so if you want to start, I'll be back in
I give salam to my people.
Okay,
Bangladesh, salam to the people.
What's with the rap?
Of
Salam to the people. This is the first
Okay, just introduce it. Assalamu alaikum, guys. We're here at Salam Corner. We're here at Tottenham Court Road. And we came across, what's your name?
Kaveen.
Yeah. Kaveen, yeah? Kaveen. Okay, I'm very bad with names. If I forget, forgive me. Yeah, my name's Ali. This is Dawood. Yeah, it's nice meeting you. Thanks, because there is a lot of questions that I would like to know. We're here talking about Islam, and a lot of people come to us to ask about what Islam is about. But I want to know if, like, you're a follower of Hare Krishna. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me a bit about it? Because I can remember you was having a discussion with Dawood, and you said something along the lines of that basically some people have the belief that at one point of the afterlife you become God or become with God, and you said you don't agree with that. What was the reasoning behind it? Oh, is that? Yeah.
It's a one step of realization is understanding the oneness of everything. That everything is ultimately spiritual energy, like the underlying principle of everything. So we would say that's one step of understanding that everything ultimately came from God, but that everything has a source. Like there is light now. There is light, but that doesn't mean the sun is present. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
But we would understand that because there is light, there is a source of light.
Yeah.
What the hell are they saying?
So the first understanding is that, okay, there is light, but that doesn't mean that it has no source, you know. We would say that everything is ultimately energy, but energy has a source, and that source is ultimately God.
So yeah, that's what I put in the presentation as well in Hare Krishna. Again, I don't follow it anymore like I used to.
Yeah.
But God himself is energy,
Right. Okay.
and everything you see is from that energy itself. So
Oh,
remember, I placed that quote where like I am within all deities and all people. So you providing service to others is like providing service towards me, whether he is a believer or non-believer. If he exists, that energy that is there to create him comes from me essentially.
okay.
And that's the main point of Hare Krishna at the end, that we owe our existence to God, which in their form and according to the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, higher levels of realization would actually enter into the understanding of the Supreme as ultimately as a person, somebody that we can actually communicate with. You know, when we pray, he hears, you know, and so forth. You know, so yeah, that would be our we're actually monotheistic. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. So we believe that, for example, as Muslims,
Again, yeah, monotheistic, and I think that goes for most Hindus as well, where the god or the main source of energy is one person or one
Right.
energy, but every other god or deity or demigod that we see are all that god taking various forms to do various tasks.
But at the same time, that does contradict the very idea of monotheism, having just one God, right? Especially the Islamic and Abrahamic monotheism, that
Yeah.
is. That's just, and Islam is the strictly most monotheistic, I would argue, like the strict monotheism. It's just one God doing everything, right? Whereas you're kind of lending the definition, but you're also, like, at least with the Hindu philosophy that I'm seeing, is that it's giving energy to other things, but they're also doing something. So it's it's still like a form of polytheism. That is I mean, it's still polytheism. So it's not.
Yeah.
They're also gods per se. So
Yeah.
they're not like the one God.
It would be very similar to jinns and
Jinns and
angels.
angels, jinns
Yes.
and angels. Yeah,
Yes.
I think one can make that argument because like you kind of need a pantheon of divine beings, but you can also say kind of makes it similar to the Greek gods as well too, right? Like they
Yeah.
each had Zeus was the ruler, but then you had like all the other gods and demigods as well. So yeah, it's like yeah, there could be one can make the argument of a similarity. I can kind of see that. Um, but at the same time, like with Islam, it's like it's very because the angels are limited and they cannot be worshipped, or neither the jinn as well. They're very limited in what they, because jinns are only beings, right? They're not god-like beings. They're just beings that
Yeah.
just have some power over, like some power over humans, but they're not as intelligent. That is, they lack the human intelligence. So there are some catch with being a human as well, like so it kind of like the god of Islam sort of like kind of makes, as long as he's above the table, like nobody else can touch him.
Yeah. So I'll continue with the video as
uh,
well.
I'm a revert to Islam. I came to Islam about 89 years ago. You was a Christian before how long?
Yeah.
Oh,
Over 16
Wait,
years
wait,
ago.
wow, 16 years ago. Wow, I didn't know that.
wait.
So the thing is,
Sorry, he says he's a revertist. Like, I hate this term when they use revert. First of all, like, it's a convert. You convert to Islam. You never revert to Islam. You were never born Muslim. You've converted. I really hate the usage of the term revert. I don't know the Ali Dawah story, but I really hate this word revert. Like,
Well, according to the great philosopher Zakir Naik, every child is born Muslim, but at one point they leave it,
yeah,
and then they revert back to it.
it's such a bogus concept, honestly. It's like you're not exactly reverting, you're converting. So it's pretty bullshit, like the concept. Yeah, the concept I find pretty bullshit.
Thinking clearly has a comment.
I don't know Ali Dava's story. I really don't know. Apparently now he wasn't raised a Muslim. Okay, till 8-9 years ago, or I don't know. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Let's see that comment again.
I'm a revert to Islam. I came to Islam about 8-9 years ago. You was a Christian.
I came to Islam about 8 to 9 years ago. And when was this video posted?
Let me find that out. Yeah.
Finding out an interesting fact about Ali Dawah. Go figure.
Yeah, we can find out when it was actually uploaded. August 6th, 2021.
August 6th. So he's a convert from 2012. So it's only been 9 years. That was the work. That's my first year in university. So, wow, this only been 9 years with this guy. Okay, we found something out about Ali Dawah. All right, let's continue.
Before how long?
Yeah. Over 16 years ago.
Wow, 16 years ago. Well, I didn't know that. So the thing is, when we talk about monotheism, what's your understanding of God? Like, for example, Hare Krishna, is he a prophet? Is he...
Stupid. It's not Hare Krishna. It's Krishna. Hare means great or praise.
Yeah, Hare. Oh my goodness. Did he actually? Because I've heard the chant Hare Krishna, right? In Bollywood films. So like, I see incorrect, but I'll let you, the Hare Krishna is incorrect. It's a chant.
I want to know, just like, who's Hare Krishna to this whole movement?
I'll give you the Sanskrit from Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasi prabhavo matar sarvam pravatate iti matva bhajanti mam buddhabhava samambitaha.
That's the quote that I had on the last slide. So I am the time, the destroyer of worlds and such.
Okay.
Is that it says, I am the source of all these material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. And the wise who know this, buddhabhava samambitaha, they worship.
Dave just has a...
He just did shirk. Praise Krishna. I think Ali Dawah committed shirk on there. Unwillingly he did. So we're gonna hold this against him.
Yeah, and thinking clearly has a...
He's a revert to the spectrum.
Worship me with all their heart. So it's the source of everything. It's not a prophet. It's not the son of God. It's the ultimate supreme creator. The one.
The one.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you...
God damn it, he committed...
He's still praising Krishna. Okay, I'm having too much fun with it.
Do you see him as divine? God? Is he God, like the God, or is he a intermediary between God and man?
No, that would be guru.
Okay.
Guru is like the spiritual master.
Yes.
Is the one who connects.
Or a prophet.
Yeah, well, a prophet is somebody who would prophetize. Yeah, they will be able to see the future, but that's a material understanding. If you can just see the future, Nostradamus could see the future. It doesn't make him spiritual.
Okay.
As somebody who's of spirit, it means that they know the truth. And that's very different from just being able to tell the future.
Okay, so is Hare Krishna God to you?
Again.
Damn it!
You gotta get Kali on here.
I think we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
4. I'll put the number at 4. I'm being generous.
So that's 4 years. So I'm guessing that's 4 years of getting whipped in hell.
Yep. 4 years of
Krishna,
getting whipped in hell.
Krishna means all attractive, just like Allah means all powerful.
Okay, Allah means the one true God. So Krishna...
Hang on, no, Allah is just a translation of God, the God. That's it. It doesn't say the true God. So I don't know. Biggest Dawah own video on YouTube. Ali Dawah accidentally becomes an apostle. I think the amount of mistakes he's already made with Hare Krishna is ridiculous. But yeah, it also made the mistake of it's just Allah is just God basically. So that's the God, right? So it's it doesn't say anything else. Yeah, let's continue.
His attributes, like he's the most powerful, the all-knowing, the most merciful.
The actual translation of the word Allah is...
As far as I know, it's the true God. It means the true God. So when you say Hare Krishna, there is an image that...
Wait, as far as he knows, he's been doing Dawah for so many years, as far as he knows? This man, like if I were his dawa master or something, I would have given him an F on that. What kind of dawa is he doing?
I would have added like 10 more years in hell getting like whipped.
All right.
I see a lot of like those who follow Krishna. They have. Is that who Krishna is?
Well, we say, yeah, Krishna has a form. You know, he's a person. He has pastimes as a cowherd boy. If you see him, he's playing the flute. You know,
So that's the imagery that I tend to see in the brochures.
Yeah.
So you believe? Okay,
Okay,
so
first of all, I have to get like the most of the images that people see are actually wrong.
Right.
Because in the way that he's described is Nila Mega Shama. So Nila means water and Mega means cloud. So water filled. He's as black as the water filled cloud. Where the bloody hell did you see a blue water filled cloud? This man was black.
Huh.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So even the Hindu over here with the weird ponytail, is he like? Is that a Brahmin ponytail that they were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh dear Lord.
Yeah.
This is,
I think he's just like he can't say black because like of who he's talking to, I guess. But like he's probably just sourcing the most common picture.
right.
In reality, the attribute that's describing Krishna is Nila Mega Shama, which literally translates to as dark as a, where Shama means man, Nila means water, and Mega means cloud. So
Neela is
water,
also blue as well, right? Neela?
yeah.
Okay, so Neela is blue water. And then so Krishna's dark, basically really dark.
Yeah.
But Muhammad is really white, according to Hadith.
Yeah.
So they're opposites already. All right, let's continue. Whoops.
what we see, just to be correct, is that's the image of God.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that fall into, for example, when we talk about monotheism, that, for example, the fact that God has an image, because we believe God is omnipotent, he's all-powerful, he's not limited to the creation, he's outside the creation, that there is nothing like him. Like, for example, we have a verse in the Quran, in Surah Ikhlas, it says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Say he is one.
Mustafa, what was the translation? Just so this.
Okay, yeah, Surah Ikhlas. Let me just double check on that. 1 second.
Yeah, I don't quite trust this tailless monkey here. So
All right. Ikhlas. I think it's chapter Ikhlas. This is chapter. 1 second. I'm just opening it on my end. Whoops. I'm just exiting the full screen. So I had this on full screen, right?
Yeah.
Ikhlas is the 112th chapter. So chapter 112. It's one of the shortest chapters too. So everybody knows this by heart. This chapter, and only has 4 verses. So yeah, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. I even remember this. So it says here. Let me just share the screen with this one just to verify again, because we are authentic. We are what do you call it? We are proper critics. So we critique with facts. So we want to verify. So this is Surah Ikhlas, chapter 112. Ahad. So it says, say he is Allah the One in the corpus. And then the next word, it's a very short chapter. Allah the Eternal, the Absolute, the corpus, the eternal refuge. And the not he begets and not he's begotten, like he neither is born or not born. Why are you laughing, Nick?
No, I just saw Thinking Clearly's comment, and then immediately after, without even seeing that before, I called him a tailless monkey.
And not as is him for equivalent to anyone. Like basically, there's no equal to him. So what does Ali Dava say here? So he says,
self-sufficient. He does not beget, nor is he begotten, and there is nothing like unto him. So what in a nutshell that's telling us is, when we're talking about God Almighty, we're talking about his majesty in such a sense, because he's created You know how have you seen that video which shows us how big our planet is to the whole universe and galaxy?
We're insignificant.
Absolutely. And think about the atoms that we have. He's in control of all of them. So what we say is to ascribe his attributes to human beings or give the attributes of God to human beings is blasphemy. So for example, we believe God doesn't have an image because anything that has an image is limited. So in that sense, you said you're monotheist. Do you believe, like, for yourself, before you joined the movement of the Krishna movement, do you believe that is God? Like, does it fully make you understand? Because doesn't it go against your?
I would think that to not give him a form would be limiting him. You have a form, you have something that God does not have. So what makes you think you're better than God?
Okay, but the thing is, for example,
Mustafa, did you understand the question? Do you have any comment on that?
Like, so they have an opposite understandings. Like, he says, why would God have a form, right? Ali Daba. But on the other hand, this guy's like, why would you not give him a form? Like, what makes you so special? So that's a complete contradiction right there. So, wait, can I hear that again? So, like, just that part. 1 second. So we're at 5. Let me just hear that part again.
Understand, because doesn't it go against your?
I would think that to not give him a form would be limiting him. You have a form, you have something that God does not have. So what makes you think you're better than God?
Okay, but
okay. Now that's a very interesting way to look at it, actually. Like, what makes you think you have a form? Because basically, it's like he does have a point. It's nothing. You're just giving him nothing. So why would you not give him a form? So I kind of agree with the Hindu guy over here. Like,
and that's like the main principle as well. Like, there is one God, but he just takes different forms for different tasks.
Right.
Like, if he's like pure energy and like has no form, like how's he going to pick up a pencil or like a?
Exactly.
How's he going to form Earth? Like, in order to form something, you got to have the tools for the job. So we just think that you got to make the form to. God just takes that form to do a certain task, but then he can make whatever form he wants. So if like this company, let's say this Earth, dogs took over instead of humans, and like everyone was a tetrapod, walking on 4 legs, God would take 4 legs.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. All right. Let's play this.
The thing is, for example, I exist, God exists, but the way I exist and the way God exists is 2 separate things. So, for example, if we say that things that I do, for example,
how are they separate things? How is your existence and God's existence completely separate things?
I think he's also shaken here because, like, this is probably the first time someone asked him a question like that, which is a very valid question.
I find it a very valid question. Like, you know what? This is actually, you make a good case on your end. I'd consider it.
I go to the toilet. Does that mean I'm undermining God because he has to do something that I do so he's not better than me? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Wait, what the hell is you going to the toilet have anything to do? It's just giving a form. It doesn't have to go to the toilet. Like, a form doesn't have to use to take a shit. It's like, this man.
No, but we're talking about form. We're not talking about those kind of things. God can ultimately do what he's wants. He's completely free in ways that we can never understand. But God has a form. He has relationships. What do we find the highest in this world is things like love. Those exist between personalities, between people.
Yes.
So this is very important. We speak about love of God, but you want to take away everything we know. No. This world is a bad reflection of the true reality. If you have a tree reflected in a river, you jump into that river trying to get fruit. You're not going to find it. You're just going to find illusion.
Yes.
You climb the real tree. That's where we're going. So the tree has form, but it's nothing compared to the reflection. We're talking about transcendental form. Don't try and capture him within our 3-dimensional logic. You'll fall astray.
No, exactly. That's right. So how do you fit Krishna into that when there is a form, but because we agree?
To ask, did you understand his point there?
Like, so can you explain the point?
So basically, his point is like, in order to perform, so let that tree example, I'll take the exact same tree. God is essentially a reflection or an illusion, or like he doesn't have a physical form. He's like the reflection of a tree on water, right? You have a tree in front of water, and God would be the reflection of the tree on that water. he's pure energy, you can't see him, but if he doesn't take the physical form of the tree, how are you as the human going to reap the fruit?
Yeah, like basically what you're saying is that God is more of a reflection from his what do you call it, perspective. That is, it's more of a reflection.
You can't even begin to comprehend what the reflection is and can do. But if you're going to jump into the river or water body trying to get the fruit from the reflection of the tree, you're not gonna bear any of the fruit. The reflection has to have a physical form for you to actually get any use of it.
Yeah, and it's a good thing too. Like, you have to have some form of physical form to be able to, like, establish your existence. That is.
Yeah.
And yeah, thinking clearly has a good point. Why are these clowns always obsessed with bodily functions? And the classic, you think God dumps, they say that to extreme Christians all the time. And like, also what I'm thinking, well, how is dumping a bad thing? How is dumping a bad thing?
Yeah.
So like, it's just releasing of waste. That's it. Wasteful toxins. All right, let's continue with this.
With what you said, for example, we believe God Almighty has a hand, but not the hand that we think of. Like, I have a hand.
Oh, but he has a throne, doesn't he?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, good point. He does have a throne. It's actually mentioned in the Quran. He does have a throne. So Ali Dava is like, wait, so where does he sit? Doesn't he sit on that throne?
So at this point, I got to give all my points to this Hindu guy here.
I know, he's actually on point. I'm actually impressed so far.
And he rose above his throne, yeah.
But he can sit in a throne. That means he has legs and he has...
No.
Well, why...
Yes, of course, yeah. So why would you have a throne if you don't have legs, hands, and your butt? You need to have a butt to sit on that throne.
Got him.
He's got him right there. Hang on. All right, let's continue with
Is there a throne there? Why is the left hand of God? Why can God hear our prayers?
Yes. So what we say is, for example, with that, is that just because, for example, what we do is, it's like, if you get somebody who lived in Amazon and we brought him here and he saw me on my mobile phone, and my mobile phone, he heard someone speaking, he would go back to his people and say, I saw a device, it looked like a metal piece, and there was a voice coming from it. Now, his people would have to deduce from that, hold on a second, if it has a voice, it has a tongue. If he has a tongue, well, it's not really that case. Because he doesn't have an understanding of the mobile phone, he's ascribing that to what he knows best.
Well,
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Magic is a science that we don't understand, that's what you're saying. So I think the higher you go, you see, you can't escape duality.
Yeah.
You're off.
And the mobile phone point, like, he just, like, it's an analogy. Like, I can give Ali Dava a little credit. Okay, it's a nice comeback. It's a nice comeback with that analogy. But at the same time, there's still a source of the voice. It's this physical source of the voice. So I do give him that, but there's a physical source. So it's kind of a very shaky analogy. But let's continue.
Bring prayers to God. There will always be that, servant to master relationship.
Yes,
We're
it should be like that.
It was always going to be like that. So we can't. It's not that. Like I say, we can't just become one. It's not all just energy.
No,
there'll always be me offering prayers. When I pray, I speak to God.
Yeah.
And when I read, say, the Quran, God speaks to me. So there'll always be that two-way communication. You're never going to be able to take that away.
No, 100%, definitely.
That exists between personalities.
Yeah.
For the personality, there has to be a form.
So are you saying that the form aids to understand that there is a relationship between point A and B? So the form is an aid or a compass?
I mean, in the spiritual world, form is subordinate to the actual rasa or relationship with the Supreme Lord. You can be whatever you want, whatever he wants you to be, if you want to return, so be it.
Sure.
But that's not important, What's important is the actual relationship. If he wants you to stay here and to continue preaching, we have another thing, which is reincarnation. So our goal, Nadanama Janama Sundarim Kavitamba Jagadishikamaye Mama Janmani Chanmani Ishvare Bhagavad Bhakti.
Oh jeez. I'm gonna hear
Tira
this.
Haitaki Twain. So that is Haitaki means without any motivation. So, I do not want beautiful women, I do not want a number of followers. I just want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So, the pure devotee or somebody who's fully surrendered, he's ready to come back life
Fully
after life.
surrendered, I like that word.
life after life after life, you know,
So
to
you're
continue to save. You
so
know?
that's quite nice.
That's quite contradictory to what is in Islam. Like if you serve or surrender now, you'll go and get all those physical things in Jannah.
Yeah,
But for these guys, it's like you just have your main goal is to serve. Just
because
period.
in
If you
Islam,
do-
it's like just one life too. Like it's just one life, and then you die, you go to heaven, you go to the Islamic heaven, that is with rivers of wine. You're actually getting physical substances like the huris, the virgins, as well as like all these things. And it's a completely opposite of the what this guy is saying.
Because you're saying basically submitting your will to God away from the desires that we have, for example, be it women, cars, followers, ego, all this kind of stuff. And this is something Islam teaches. What it does is it tells you to divorce these things.
Then why does Ali Davas look for subscribers?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's looking for followers. He's also like looking for followers too. So that is not only subscribers, but like also converts too. He's looking for converts, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
Not totally, because you can get married. The Prophet ﷺ said, I did get married. I did fast some days and some days I didn't. The thing is here is that the connection to God Almighty, which I understand we have a connection there, where freeing yourself from the desires of this world and submitting your will to God Almighty. But in order for us to submit our will to God Almighty, we need to know who He is, what's His attributes and what He wants from us. Because otherwise what we will do is we will think, okay, anything. Because if Christians come and say to me, Jesus is God, why should I not follow that? If you come to me and say Krishna is God, why should I follow that? Where do I draw the line?
Look at the
Where is he going with this? Like, who do I follow? Like, define who he is. What the hell was this guy? What the hell were you discussing all this time then?
essence. I mean, all religions preach the same thing. I mean, it's ultimately.
No, they don't. They don't preach the same thing. Please, give me a break.
Giving up the lower, lower materialism to achieve the highest, Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasha Ahankara Vimuratma Kartaham Itimanite, is that deluded under the three modes of material nature. The living entity thinks himself the doer of the activities which are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Ahankara, false ego, is that you think you're.
Ahankar means like like you said, false ego, your pride essentially. The literal translation is pride.
Right, okay. There's also there's a similar, pride is also a sin in Islam and Abrahamic faiths too. Because that's what's got.
Yeah, I think that's what he means by like all religions preach the same. I don't think he's talking about like the specifics, but like in a base level, it's just like they're all talking about like trying to achieve a higher level of enlightenment, and they're just having different ways to go to it.
Yeah, it's not only different ways, but they also have like different deities too, right? Different gods as well.
Yeah.
So it's like the very basics are extremely different. Like, they have completely different beliefs.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's continue.
Human. You think you're a man and you think that because I'm a man, I'm going to go and do this, We say, no, that's not who we are.
There's a similar verse in the Quran where Allah says very similar, and it says, and they think they are the ones who engage in combat, but it wasn't.
It's a Lord.
Yeah.
He's ultimately given us a facility to exercise.
Well, you actually went to fight, so it's not like, you didn't do anything. So you're just giving God credit. And
our free will. Now, how are we going to use that? Are we going to use it for glorifying Him, or are we going to use it for our own selfish needs? That's the battle. Right
Okay,
now,
so when it comes to glorifying Him, like, do you think that, for example, if I was to glorify my mum or my dad, not to the level of God, if I did it in a way where I felt befit. So, for example, my mum, I want to show my gratitude to my mum and I want to glorify her for the things that she's done for me. And I know what she wants from me, but I say, no, you know what, mum? My mum says to me, I want Mercedes, argument's sake, Mercedes car. I want an E-Class. I go and buy a Ford Focus or something like that. Now, she's going to say, I'm telling you how I would like you to glorify me. You're going out with your own logic and getting me something that doesn't befit me of who I am.
Terrible. That's speculation.
Yeah. So do you not think that when it comes to glorifying God, if we do not have the true message, how can we glorify Him if we don't know who He is?
Okay, he's coming from the assumption. I know where this argument is going. He's gonna say, oh, because you're doing something else, aka is my religion is true, therefore you're not following my logic. You're not following the true religion. So he's gonna. that's where the direction is going. Won't you agree, Nick?
Yeah.
Because if we go in our way, for example, if you say Krishna is God or something like that, we believe God has never entered his creation. There is no form in the context where there is nothing like him, and he is one. So isn't it a disservice or we're not glorifying him, we're actually insulting him when we give the attributes of his glorious nature to be it Krishna or, I'm so sorry, Muhammad, some Muslims do this as well, Jesus.
Well,
do you know what I'm trying to say?
You're entitled to believe whatever you want. I mean, if that's what the Quran teaches, go with it, you know.
Yeah.
But
do you think it's correct to do that or not? Like, if you're giving the attributes of God Almighty to Krishna,
I think it's correct to follow the scripture that you're following. You know, if I'm cooking pizza and you're cooking cake, you know, and you're telling me to take parts of your recipe and somehow put it in mine, it's like I'm not interested. You know, I'm cooking cake here. You can cook whatever you want
100%.
according to the recipe that you've got. So,
but isn't there one truth?
I like how you use the cookie, the
Cake,
you know,
example. He's like, bro, don't tell me to follow what you want to follow when I'm trying to make my own deal.
Yeah, and I like the attitude with the Hindu individual. Like, he doesn't have the, you know, preachy, like as much as I don't believe in Hinduism, like it does have preachy elements, but this person is very like, you know, I want to follow this, I'll let you follow that, like, you know. And the Quran does the same thing, but now Ali Dawah is going to push for, like, you know, but isn't it incorrect?
There has to be, because if you're saying there's multiple truths, then how do we reach God? Because if I come and say, I believe Satan is God, for example.
Yeah, no, people can, and it's a very good point.
But is it true?
But we have to differentiate. You know, what is the goal? Satanism is people. What's their role? You know, they're worshiping the Antichrist. I can't. I'm
Satan.
surprised.
No, they're not worshiping the Antichrist. And Satan. Basically, it's generally like a group of atheists who just happen to, like, you know, go against the establishment of God himself. So it's sort of like a rebellious religion in itself too.
Yeah.
So, but it has developed, like, you know, what do you call it? Religious scripture, and, like, you know, but I really like the Church of Satan as well. So I definitely recommend checking out their website. So yeah.
Let me guess, it's the Church of Satan's a swinger club.
It's not a swingers club. No. It's not a swingers club. It's basically like, you know, they'll tell you, no, we're not doing any of these rituals. Just don't get any ideas, you weird theists. So yeah, it's like trying to tell theists, don't get any weird ideas. All right, let's continue.
You even brought up that example. This is ridiculous.
But they believe that is their true God. So you would say
it's
they're
not
wrong.
God, though. It's the Antichrist. They're worshipping it. They believe in evil, and they believe.
No, it's not the Antichrist. What the hell is this guy talking about? No, there are devil worshippers, Satanists, where in America I think they're atheists. Or in North America, no. It's actually there's a Church of Satan here that they're actually like LaVeyan Satanism. So it's there's different forms of Satanism. So there's LaVeyan. So LaVeyan.
Yeah, this isn't Britain, so they might be.
It might be a different form of Satanism. I think Britain has a different one. So I think North America is probably a different one. So yeah, so it's definitely something, because I've looked into the Church of Satan. So it's a very different.
The way to God is through demoniac practice.
But why are they wrong? Because they'll say the same thing to you. This is my way of making my pizza. Why are you telling me?
No, I mean, they can believe what they want, but it's what is their destination. Their destination is very different.
Exactly.
You know?
So how wouldn't you not want to help them in their path because they're in the wrong path? Yeah. It's the same with us and same with you towards us, by the way. Yeah.
No, I mean, I would never say the same about you, because I do believe you're on the wrong path. I mean, I believe you're on the right path. You know. But I would never say that you're on the wrong.
He had a bit of a Freudian slip here. Like, you know, he did have a Freudian slip. It's like, basically, I think you're on the wrong path. I mean, you're on the right path. So he did have a bit of a Freudian slip. So I'll give him that. But yeah, I do like kind of his attitude that, you know, he doesn't want to force his opinion, but then Ali Dawah is like, no, you want to correct them. And this is like the antithesis of Ali Dawah. It's like, no, but you want to correct them. And he's like, nope.
Wrong path, you know.
Okay, have you ever read the Quran? Have you ever given it a chance? Like, yeah. What was your thoughts of it? Like, is that
I liked it. I think there's a lot of truth in there. أنا أعيش في كهيرة 4 سنين. calamari shwaya shwaya, you know.
Oh, Arabic. Oh, I was thinking he's speaking the thing again.
No.
Yeah.
No, I lived in Egypt for 4 years. I had a lot of good friends that were Muslims and
Yeah.
so forth. So, I mean, I know the practice and I'm very sympathetic towards the cause. You know, so I'm not a stranger to any of this. I've been to mosques. I like the culture, and I'd say that I'm a believer in some respects. You know, I mean, I see. Ultimately, you have to look at the different. I mean, I would never be so proud to say that, you know, our path is the only way, because there's so many different types of worshippers, you know, and it's a very personal relationship. I'm just doing what I think would be the best thing.
But that's the problem. You see,
the quickest route, you know,
but
back.
you see, when you say I think, like even the same with me. If I said I think this is the best way to go to God, who am I? I'm talking to myself to think, because I'm limited. So if I
you can have a bias. I think a bias is healthy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have.
We all have some biases.
We wouldn't have conversations like this.
Yeah.
In these conversations, a lot of creative work is done between different schools.
Yes.
Like Bruce Lee said, don't fear the man who knows 1,000 kicks. Fear the man who knows one kick perfectly.
Yes.
So all you have to do is define your style in this life, you know.
And he said, be like water, shapeless.
We don't agree with that part.
So I understand. Yeah, like with us,
maybe, you know.
Yeah. What we're just doing with our perspective is just we want to call people, because there has to be ultimately one truth. There might be a lot of ways.
Man, Ali Dawah is so desperate. He's so desperate to try.
I think he got wrecked by this guy, and like is trying to. He's like, bro, go do you. I'm making a pizza here. Don't tell me how to make a cake while I'm making a pizza.
No. What I've noticed so far with Ali Dawah is like he's trying so desperately to, like, you know, say, oh, there's only one truth, and this guy's like not entertaining the idea at all. So I really like the how the versus is going. This is kind of slightly entertaining, but I think Ali Dawah, this is the, like, Ali Dawah is like, you know, trying to be nice, and, you know, he's like, but there's, you know, he's, and the other guy's like, nope. So this is very interesting, the conversation that is, like, Ali Dawah's trying his best to, like, you know, steer him to the Islamic path.
Like the Hindu guy's just here to have a discussion, whereas Ali Dawah's trying to convert him.
He's trying his best to convert him. Yeah.
But there has to be one truth to God. And if God Almighty...
You're talking about cultural religion and then eternal religion. We call that
okay.
Varnashram Dharma or Sanatan Dharma. Okay. Sanatan Dharma is the truth, regardless of cultural or material or whatever.
Yes.
You've got to get...
Sanatana Dharma, that's what the Bhagavad Gita talks about, that I had in the PowerPoint, right?
Okay.
Sanatana Dharma is what he's talking about. Again, like, I'm Telugu, so when I learned it in Telugu.
Right.
So that's why my pronunciation is a bit different than that too. He's a white guy, has a white accent. So what he's saying is completely in Sanskrit. Mine is mixed with a little bit of Telugu in it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so but for today's, no, I think let's continue. Let's see where this goes.
It's that river, and it doesn't matter what kind of boat you're in, you know. And while we're on the river, I can talk about your boat, you can talk about my boat. When we get to the other side, we get out of the boat, you know, and then we're gone, you know. It's not about the boat.
But wouldn't it be too late? Because once we die, and then we're going to know the truth or not. So once we're there, is it, if we all wait and say, you know what, right, let him do his thing, let me do my thing, which is okay, but what I'm saying is preaching to each other, talking about each other's boat, because we can say, okay.
I don't think God is so cruel, you know. I think if somebody makes...
No, he's the most merciful.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. He's so merciful. But then Ali Dawah was like, oh, what if we're wrong? What if we actually go to hell? But then, you know, this guy's, he was all merciful. Like, it's completely contradicting the...
I think this guy, like, called him out in the most nicest way.
In the wisest... It's so subtle the way he called him out.
But he would not forgive associate partners to him.
I thought he was the most merciful.
He would not forgive associating. He's all merciful, but he would not forgive associating partners with him. But it's like, isn't that really supposed to be? Where's the mercy then?
I don't think. I think it would be merciful.
Really?
I don't, even let's say I'm right, you know. I would never say that you wouldn't have a chance, you know. Everybody's got a chance, you know. And to show love, and like if you spend your life dedicated towards Allah, you know, and you're calling out His name, I don't think it matters really what you're calling, but it's the love that you actually present before Him, you know.
I feel like Krishna. I haven't understood Krishna really well. So was Krishna a human being who's lived on Earth? Okay, so that's...
First of all, I mean, we go with the... I mean, you can say that he's not allowed to come here, but he can come here if he wants.
Sure.
Why are you limiting God again?
But that's not befits His Majesty. So
It's
if I,
limiting.
but how? Okay, can God become my watch?
Wasn't he supposed to be like all-knowing, all-powerful? Can he not become your watch, Ali Dava? Oh man, it's befitting His Majesty. There's a very limited understanding of a god, that is, right? So it's very
and a previous avatar of Lord Vishnu is Lord Rama, and Lord Rama actually. So there's this lady who had full devotion for him, and she wanted to make sure she gave him the best fruit. So she would give him apples that she has bitten to make sure that they taste sweet, and give it to him, even though it's technically impure if she's bitten it. And he still ate it because she gave it out of.
That's the story.
Yeah.
Behind the. Okay, but then it's Ali Daba's. That would actually baffle Ali Daba if he knew that story.
Yeah.
God is everything, but in just diverse energies. Everything is the energy of God because it all came from Him.
But what about like when you go toilet? Like, are we going to say that's a part of God?
Everything's a part of.
Why is he going back to the toilet? Oh man, this guy also constantly going.
Yeah,
to
I got
the
a question.
toilet.
I got a question for Ali Dava here. So if God created humans but shit's disgusting, why did He create humans with the ability to shit?
Exactly. Like, this is so ridiculous, and he's all constantly going. Like, his mind is in the toilet, literally. Ali Dava's mind is in the toilet.
God.
But see, this way we say we dishonor Him if we say
Everything, that. Is everything an atom? If you look at the atom.
Yeah, but God is not an atom.
God exists in the atom. Atoms have reality.
Atoms are limited.
An atom has reality because God is present within it.
Well, atoms have a beginning and an end.
Man, this guy is like, he got him to try to admit, like, God is in your shit too, basically. So it's like, why would he be ashamed of that? But Ali Dava is still like, he thinks like it's disgusting for a god. Why would it be?
No, everything is eternal. Energy is eternal. That's the first principle.
No. Any energy, yes, it cannot be created or destroyed, but in a closed system.
Exactly.
But the thing is, we know there's a limited set amount of energy. So the fact that it's limited shows you why is there a limit to it.
No, energy cannot be created or destroyed.
But it can be limited in this context. So for example, it cannot be created or destroyed in a closed system. But if it's limited, so for example, we have one.
Wait, is he correct, Nick? I'm not an expert in the.
E equals mc squared. So energy is equal to mass times the light speed squared, right?
Right.
So so an atom has a mass. I used to know this because of physics, but I forgot the exact constant.
Yeah.
But I think it's the K constant. But that would be the power, the energy that an atom has. But again, the energy for that atom cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred into a different kind of energy.
Right. And what Adi Dava is saying is that, it cannot be limited, that is.
Yeah. And then in the universe, it's, like, once it transfer, like, you got to remember that the conservation of energy doesn't actually hold in the current universe, because the universe is expanding, meaning if it's expanding, then more energy is coming into existence. It's only in a closed system, but atoms are not in a closed system. So at the end of the day, like, it's just so minuscule that we can't see it. That's why they say that it can't, but at the end of the day, it doesn't.
I'm interested.
Trillion particles of energy. Why 1 trillion but not 2 trillion? So the fact that there's a set amount of energy shows this.
Dave, the comments for me are delayed because of bad internet with showing this video. So like, I just saw yours as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dave's comments. Yeah. Sorry, Dave. Yeah.
God is unlimited. God is not an atom or energy. So what we say is the fact that we have energy and it cannot be created or destroyed.
What is an atom? Is that outside?
Well, everything is.
Is that outside of God's reign?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What is it then?
Wait, hang on. So is that outside God? No, it's not. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Dava is science. Yeah, thinking clearly. Dava equals science. My ears bleeding. Yeah. Especially when he's trying to bring in science to it. Now he's kind of like,
Yeah, and like, I think it's great that this guy called him out on that. Is it not?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really entertaining.
So what we
It
say
is
is,
the energy of God. Everything is energy of
okay,
God.
no, what we say is God created it, but God is not it. So if we're going to glorify God, if we're dropping him to the level of an atom, which is magnificent, we see his creation, but to say, I made a chair, then I become a chair. Why do I need to become a chair?
This is where we differ in our understanding, is that the core of our philosophy is Achintya Abeda Beda Tattva.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Achintya Abeda Beda Tattva means simultaneously one, Abeda Beda Tattva, which means Tattva is truth. So they're simultaneously one and different, so that he is, but the simultaneously is not, So he is his creation, but not. And Achintya means inconceivable. So good luck trying to understand that one.
I think what Muslims traditionally have done is they suspend the judgment on the essence of God. So there's not commentary on it because it would be speculation to speculate the essence of God. But you're saying that your text reveals the essence.
It gives form, it gives personality, it gives so much wonderful pastimes,
No, same. We have attributes of God, of who he is, and what he's done and how merciful he is to a certain.
Oh, we have to look at him trying to chime in, he has attributes too.
But did he just say that he doesn't?
Does it? But he basically didn't he commit? Didn't he kill all those Egyptian babies? Didn't he destroy nations? He was too busy destroying nations. Now what is Ali Dawah doing here?
But the thing is, it's to speak about him without true knowledge is dishonoring.
Wouldn't you like those details?
No, we would, and we do.
Does he have?
We would like those details. Okay.
Straight hair? Does he have curly hair? I mean, you want to know about God.
But why do you even say straight or curly? That's because of what you've seen in the creation. No, but that's the thing. That's because you've seen something in the creation.
We'll talk about beauty,
But who said beauty needs curly or straight hair?
Beauty that's part.
I think this guy's just trolling Ali Dawah.
Part of beauty.
I think so too. He's also trolling him at the same time.
No. He always says this to me. Allah is beautiful. We have this, and He loves beauty.
Isn't Allah supposed to be beautiful? Is Ali Dawah contradicting himself?
Oh, yo, I got a question. How funny would it be if the Hindu guy was like, if he's so beautiful, why don't you sleep with him?
Oh man, that would if we actually meet Ali Dawah, you're asking him that question.
Yeah.
Again, but you're talking about polymorphism. It's like if
polymorphism?
Polymorphism is the concept that God is ascribed to our own image.
Okay.
If a triangle had a god, then it would have three corners. If a horse had a god, it would look like a horse. And so forth.
Yeah.
But I've already taken up a lot of your time. I'm glad we can agree to disagree.
No, so thank you. Look, what was your name?
Kavi.
It was a pleasure. I'm so sorry.
Honestly, I had so many more questions. I hope we meet again.
No, yes, me too.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Tani.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure. I think we learned a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care.
Really?
Thank you
He
very
learned
much.
a lot.
Really, he learned a lot, huh?
Did he just commit shirk?
He committed shirk by saying hi, Krishna.
I think, guys, it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
We had a really nice discussion.
Yeah.
Obviously, we do want to learn his way or his belief system.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do not want to send.
Do you know the way?
He's like, we would love to learn his belief system, but we don't want to at the same time. It's basically like, screw this guy.
Tawheed and talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
We did our bit and we learned as well.
Yeah.
I think we learned from each other.
Yeah.
And he was a nice gentleman. I don't think there was anything wrong. I don't know. We learned. I think we would have learned more. But we was in between where we was like, we need to put some Tawheed in there. It has to, because we can't just okay, he's going to speak. So I think it was quite, I think we did a good job.
We can't just let him speak. We got to put some power into it in there.
Yeah. This guy's like, oh, we got to put in some Tawheed and we did a good job. So patting himself on the back. Screw you, the patting yourself. And yeah, it's like a Comic-Con event where one guy is arguing a DC universe, another guy's arguing Marvel universe. Yeah, that's pretty much how it sounds like. It sounds like a Comic-Con event where our Marvel and
But
DC
I honestly think that like not even being biased here completely from a unbiased view, I think the Hindu guy did a really good job at just explaining his point of view. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them 100%, but he made a lot better.
Yeah, he he made a good case. Like, I may be biased towards, I do admit I may have some bias towards Ali Dawah, maybe because, you know, he has like said some nasty things about ex-Muslims, right? But judging it, yeah, just from a third party perspective, you are correct. Like, he did present his argument better, a lot better than what Ali Dawah did. Like, Ali Dawah was kind of thrown off his game. He was thrown off his Dawah script. And, you know, he's like, wait, hang on a second. Like, and then he made the mistake of hiding. My goodness. But I was surprised the Hindu guy didn't correct him on that. I was surprised that I was actually expecting him to correct him on that. So that's the one thing, you know, I was like, yeah, and yes, thinking clearly. Thank you. Should be our first 2-hour show. Yes, it's our first 2-hour show for a first time. We've been doing like under 2 hours for a while. So again, I think it's because like we just got into the groove of things. So yeah, we didn't find like a big topic to sink our teeth and based on our schedules. But yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In that case, I think we can discuss more in the Discord as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't want to keep too much of a pause between the video and a Discord discussion, so we can get like the most juicy thoughts and such. So Mustafa, would you be joining us there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Will be joining us at Discord. Before we sign off, do you have any other question? Before we do go any further, so I do have to share the Hadith of the week as well. Just to end it off, as well as, do you have any final thoughts on the video overall?
For me personally, I just think that, yeah, like if I had to get someone to prove that religion is true, any religion, I'd put my bets on that Hindu guy more than Ali Dawah. Again, I'm not going to join any religion, but like if I had to.
Yeah, because considering me, I find Hinduism as a religion very ridiculous, right? But overall, this the person who Ali Dawah was speaking to makes a very good case. He actually relatively made a very good case for his God, and actually the way he's very polite, very like, you know, he kind of in a subtle way. If it's just him versus Ali Dawah, I give the victory to the Hindu individual, because Ali Dawah was really thrown off of his game over here. He was really thrown off,
which isn't hard, but
yeah, it's not hard, but like the way he was thrown off was a very subtle, very like, you know, in a calm way, and you know, Ali Dawah goes a bit confused, but then he's also contradicting himself with the mercy. But then it's like, wait, what? So like he wasn't like, you know, your attributes are a bit different from that God. Like Krishna, you know, is different from, you know, the Allah and Krishna are very different gods to begin with.
And at the end of the day, I think it does come down to attitude with this guy basically saying like, yo, I'm making a pizza here, you're making a cake, why are you telling me to add elements of your cake recipe into my pizza?
Oh yeah, and it was a good point. Like, why are you adding pizza recipe to my cake exactly? Like, it was a very good, like, you know, you do your thing, we do my thing. Like the Quran does have a chapter on it, and Ali Dawah could have had the opportunity to touch on that. Actually, he could have had the opportunity to, you know, what do you call it? Bring up that Quran, the chapter Surah Al Kafirun, right? So Surah Al Kafirun. I forgot the name. Actually, the number of the chapter is. Let me just double check. Surah Al Kafirun is, I think it's, just give me a second. Oh, Jesus. The security of Kafirun. Where is Kafirun? Al Kafirun. So, Taqweer. There's a Surah Al Jinn. Where is Surah Kafirun? Because I remember the Arabic names of this. 1 second. Is chapter. Now it's got 6 verses. What's the name of the chapter? The Unbelievers. Okay. 109. 1 second. Yeah, is it 109? Yeah, it's Al Kafirun. There we go. So chapter 109 has 6 verses. So I was very surprised. I'll just give you guys a little sharing the screen. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Whoops. Yeah, let's go to the Surah Al-Kafirun. Okay. So this is where it's like, say, oh, disbelievers, not I worship what you worship, and not you are worshippers of what I worship, and not am I a worshiper of what you worship, and not you worshippers of what I worship. Repetitive. For you, your religion. For me, is my religion. So Ali Dawah had the opportunity to bring up chapter 109, Surah Al-Kafirun, which does say that you do your thing, I do my thing. So he had an opportunity to present that. And I'm very surprised Ali Dawah did not present this, the argument of Surah Al-Kafirun. Like, he could have found similar ground in that. But again, Ali Dawah was very obsessed with, trying to, like, bring him to, like, his own point of view. Like, he was too focused on, like, trying to do dawah, basically. Let's just say that. So yeah, I think that's my my take on it. So I was very surprised he didn't use that. But yeah, let's finish it off with the hadith of the week. Give me a second here. So sorry, I'm new to this. Sahih al-Bukhari 3827. Sahih al-Bukhari. Just open this up. I know, remember last time I did the Sahih al-Bukhari 3826. So I'm actually another hadith. This was an interesting hadith about what do you call it? This monotheist in Mecca. So share. So yes, like Zayd Amr bin Nofel, he went to Sham inquiring about a true religion to follow. He met a Jewish religious scholar and asked him about their religion. And he said, I intend to embrace it. So tell me something about it. The Jew said, you will not embrace our religion unless you receive the share of Allah's anger. Zayd said, I do not run except from Allah's anger, and I will never bear a bit of it if I have the power to avoid it. Can you tell me of some other religion? He said, I do not know of any other religion except Hanif. So Hanif was the monotheist. Zayd, the monotheist, the Abrahamic monotheist. Zayd inquired, what is Hanif? He said, Hanif is the religion of Prophet Abraham, who was neither Jew nor Christian, and he used to worship none but Allah. Then Zayd went out and met a Christian scholar. Christian said, you will embrace a religion. You cannot embrace our religion unless you get a share of Allah's curse. I do not run except from Allah's curse, and I will never bear of Allah's curse, and if I have the power to avoid them. Will you tell me some other religion? If I do not know any other religion except Hanif. What is Hanif? Same thing, the religion of Abraham, who was neither Christian nor Jew. When Zayd heard the statement, he left, and he came out, he raised both his hands, and Allah, I make you my witness that I am on the religion of Abraham. So this was a monotheist. Like, Zayd was also friends with Muhammad too. So this person, Muhammad used to see in a previous hadith, he used to visit him before revelation. So this man, Zayd bin Amr bin Nofel, was an Abrahamic monotheist prior to revelation. And this man died in 605. So yeah, this is something interesting hadith that I'm finding. We should do a topic about Zayd bin Amr bin Nofel in a future video for sure. And we've reached our 2-hour mark, 2 hour, 2 minutes.
So yeah, congratulations, Moose.
Our first 2 hours.
On that note, I have a small surprise for you.
Oh dear.
You naughty, naughty. You teasing me, you naughty, naughty.
Damn it! Man,
Right.
bless Mufti Abuleth. Bless Mufti Abuleth. Anyway, all right, let's can't wait till you do a first 4-hour show. All right. Let's thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you. We'll be joining you shortly in Discord. If you have any questions, concerns, just feel free to discuss. But yeah, have a good Saturday, everybody, and have a good night.
We love you all.
All right, bye.
See you.